Hallo und willkommen zu einer neuen Reaktion. Ja, die Reaktion ist nämlich heute mal Smash TV, denn ich finde es eigentlich interessant. Nämlich es geht über Split Fiction, ein Spiel, das wirklich gut ist, muss ich sagen. Und es gibt da Personen in der Community, wo, ja. Aber guck mal, was uns Smash GT selber zu sagen hat.
My favorite game that I've played so far in 2025. And that's saying something because there have been some
Das muss ich
bangers
noch
so
spielen
far.
übrigens.
But holy crap, has there been some strange takes from certain individuals in the gaming community,
Yorch Tourch.
we'll just say, as of this point, when it comes to Split Fiction. Wrote this article up over on SmashJT.com
ich bin
discussing one person in particular that seems to be doubling and tripling and quadrupling down over and over and over again about how Split Fiction is just the woke game that everybody shouldn't play, and you should be anti-woke because women? I don't think Metroid would stand a chance if it came out in 2025 with some of these people.
Ich finde es halt lustig, weil es eigentlich immer
how one person in particular, Yorch Tourch Games, who, I gotta be honest, he posted a photo of himself and I'm like, he looks a lot like he's related to me, but I could assure you, he's not. He's doubling down on his take that Split Fiction is a feminist propaganda game and you shouldn't play it because girls equal woke.
Der schlechteste Take, den ich je gehört
Yorch
habe.
is having quite a bit of a coping session on social media these days, with many doubling and tripling down of opinions that no one, save for a few loonies out there, seem to be sharing, and for good reason. After nearly 7 hours of playing the game with Hypnotic on live streams myself, so far, I can personally say confidently that I am completely addicted to this game. And I covered it previously in another video that I show on here, links on smashjt.com.
Ich muss sagen, das ist wirklich das based Game, das ich je gesehen habe.
People with like the NPC chip in the back of their head, like, oh, girl equals woke equals you shouldn't play this game equals anyone that says it's a good game, you should ban them, boycott them, unsub from them, and tell them that they're an awful person for daring to like a video game that is coming from a based as hell developer. But regardless of the facts, don't let those get in the way of someone with an agenda to push. And that brings us to the Steam charts, where this game has crossed over 250,000 players concurrently. And they just announced on X today that the game has sold over 2 million copies.
Ich meine, Hazelight ist wirklich ein super Studio.
So calling it a breakout hit is actually an understatement at this point. It is blowing doors. But don't let that stop someone like Yorch Tourch Games from pushing an agenda, even though he's been proven wrong by the overall community of loving this game, that no, people shouldn't be playing it because it's woke, and it's failing because woke. Gamers, two dudes playing Split Fiction is the very definition of ultra lame and gay. Real men play Gears of War in co-op. Which, I gotta be honest, if you have to say stuff like that, you're telling the world that you are extremely uncomfortable with your own sexuality. Like, honestly, that speaks more volume than any comment or criticism that I could even make. You saying this yourself is a self-own. It's admitting to everyone that you're freaking out that people are enjoying a game
Yorch Tourch
where
ist
there's
wirklich
a
ein
woman
Clown
protagonist. Think
ohnesgleichen.
about that for a second. Oh, I did. And even added his feminist slop to March's non-binary list. He can get all the inspiration from where he wants, which, by the way, this is in reference to people saying that Joseph Fares, the creator of the game, got inspiration from his own daughters to make them the lead protagonists in the game. And Yorch Tourch is saying he can get it from wherever he wants, but the game is being promoted as feminist slop, and my golden rule never fails. If it looks feminist, and it talks feminist, and it walks feminist, the game is feminist. Well, Yorch.
Komisch, dann warum gibt's da Metroid Prime? Da spielst du auch ein weiblicher Charakter.
Like you have.
Und auch bei Echoes of Hell.
And say, yep, feminist slop. I'm going to form my opinion based off of this, and it doesn't matter what transpires after. It doesn't matter if it's the greatest game ever. I'm going to skip it because girl boss. Plus, the female characters are totally missing the mark in the beauty department. I think they look perfectly fine. Like, not really butch, not anything weird about it at all. I mean, if anything, yeah, they could be like more attractive, but they're not like ugly by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're fine. Sure, some may say, oh, come on, this isn't woke, but many of us already developed a sense for wokeness and don't want any of that in games. Anyway, Split Fiction is non-binary. And he made his own non-binary checklist and gave people reasons as to why they're non-binary. So I'm sure these are very complex reasons, right? Split Fiction, feminism. Why? Because the creator of the game wanted to honor his daughters and put them in the game as lead protagonists, and that's feminism? Okay. But don't worry, it continues. If that was enough, here's more. Uninspiring gameplay, lame female characters, rampant feminism. Where? Like, you need to explain it. You clearly haven't even played the game. It's just because there's a girl as the lead protagonist that you're saying uninspired gameplay. The game has some of the most inspired, exciting, addicting gameplay that I've played in years. This is just words you're throwing down to make it sound worse, to try to force your opinion on people. When at the end of the day, it just makes you look stupid. No need to waste time and money on Split Fiction. There are too many good games out there. I'm not saying everyone has to play this game. I don't care if you do or not. I'm just saying I'm glad I did play it. It's a fun game that is coming from a very base studio. From my extensive research on Hazelight Studios, which I covered in a previous video. There is absolutely nothing wrong about this company that I could find. The only thing is there is a girl as the lead protagonist. Could you imagine Tomb Raider coming out today and what Yorch Tourch would say about it? Or if Metroid came out today, how he would handle this? These are the type of people that have zero nuance when they look at a game. They're just like, oh, girls, it's woke, feminism, get it out. And by taking that approach, you're going to miss out on some incredible experiences. Gamers, which he always does that gamers thing. And God, that's actually why I stopped following him on X. I can't stand this pandering, where it's clearly just putting it out there, trying to get likes and engagement. Gamers, what happened to masculinity in gaming? Co-op gaming in 2008, Gears of War 2. Let's play some Gears of War 2. Yes. In 2024, Split Fiction. Look, the best co-op game ever. This International Women's Month. Let's play as empowered women. Yeah, you already know. I mean, when I'm playing this with Hypnotic, he says, hey, do you want to play Split Fiction? And I'm like, yeah. Maybe that's just us, but the game looked like a lot of fun, and we wanted to try to play it and see if it was, and sure as shit, it is. But whatever. Apparently, Gears of War 2, you have to just be going around murdering everyone, and then that's what defines a masculine good game. And if you're not going around killing everything, then you can't have fun with it. Even though in Split Fiction, you're going around killing a lot of stuff in that game too. But regardless, don't worry about the details, especially from someone who's never even played the game. The reality is that a certain subsection of gamers have tried to hijack the anti-woke movement, turning it into a crusade where anything featuring women or minorities gets instantly labeled as woke propaganda. And someone on X asked him, I'm genuinely curious, why do you think Split Fiction is feminist or woke? What's in it that makes it so? And George says, art direction, protagonists, dialogue, everything. Now, here's the thing. You take a step back and, okay, if you just watch the trailer, I would actually agree with him that art direction would show a lot of feminist, bisexual lighting, a lot of the triggers that we've been taught from society to look out for on a game, where it's like, yep, avoid at all costs when you see that stuff, which is exactly what made me want to dive further into the studio, find out more about it, because I wanted to make a video ripping it to shreds, because I thought that would have been hysterical, be like, look at this woke slop, how crazy it is. And I researched it, I'm like, no, none of that is there. That's non-existent. This is a game coming from a very base developer, Hazelight Studios, where they're in Stockholm. And Joseph Ferres, who is the ultimate gamer, caring about passion, making the best game possible, And
Hat ja
this
geschafft.
game,
Hat auch mit
the
den
art
Text
direction,
zugeschafft.
the
Also von dem her.
protagonist, the dialogue, that all works in the world that they've created. And I love how he writes everything as the catch-all here, where it's like, no, that's really, you name things from the trailer. If you actually played the game, you realize it's really not much like that at all. It's such a predictable cycle at this point. It's already beyond dumb. Clearly, his intent here is to draw attention and engagement farm. And it's clearly working because here I am covering it. But here's the thing. This kind of approach is exactly what destroys potential great figures in the community and exposes them for exactly who they are. Sure, they'll get a bump in attention and eyeballs initially, but once people start to learn who they really are, that attention will fade as quick as it appeared. In my humble opinion, people like this don't actually play games. They have zero intent to pick up a controller for any reason ever. And sure, I've embraced the meme of Smash doesn't play games, but I do. I play a lot of games, and for a while I wasn't playing them on stream where people are like, oh, you don't play games because you're not streaming them. So I started streaming them. People are like, oh, Smash does play games. Yes, I always have played games. That's why I do this. Which reminds me, check out the Smash JT live channel for live streams of gaming and clips from my live streams. I will link that in the description below as well. Already has almost 2,500 subscribers, and we just started it like 3 weeks ago, and the channel itself is going gangbusters. I should have done this a long time ago, but regardless, I look at people like Yorch Tourch Games and people in that area over there as the type of person that would be invading a subculture, a genre, a hobby, in order to use it as a vehicle to push themselves forward and garner as much attention as possible and move on from it and leave it behind as soon as they're able to. Thankfully, the game's creator, Joseph Fares, perfectly responded to all this nonsensical woke criticisms with Split Fiction, completely shutting it down in the bad faith arguments that kept coming forward, proving once again that great games will always rise above the noise. And while that won't stop people like Yorch pushing forward with their slanted view, which they're welcome to have, by the way, just like I'm welcome to have the opinion of, this guy's a straight up fraud, in my humble opinion, the way he approaches gaming. We got John Del Rose saying, absolutely, a bunch of frauds tried to go at conservatives for not liking a game due to LGBTQ themes and feminism, and they got exposed hard. I think some are paid shills. So now they're insinuating that people that are liking this game are being paid by the company? By who? Like, if you're a conservative gamer, you need to draw a line, says Yorch Tourch Gaming. That's inherently conservative. You can't say this is woke, but this isn't, when a game basically ticks every single check in the woke checklist. Okay, when a game basically ticks every single check, is this when there's a woman lead? That's every single check? Oh, when the trailer shows a level with some purple in it, that's checking every single... No, here's the thing. You need to actually research the game that you're complaining about. And I know that because I played this game to find out more about it. Where I would argue sometimes you don't necessarily have to play the game to do that if you can research it and find evidence of it happening. Where somewhere on their website, some employee says something, someone in their profile has an issue or says something in a Twitter exchange where it tips people off. Anything like that. Hazelight Studios has had zero controversy. Joseph Fares made a name for himself going on the Game Awards saying, F the Oscars. These are the people that made this game. If anything, they are on the side of the gamer, which ironically is exactly what Yorch Tourch Gaming should be pushing forward if that ultimately was the end goal. But this situation in itself, to me at least, exposes him for the tourist that he is, using this as an avenue to try to push his brand further. And for a while, it's worked. I used to follow this guy. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's on the side of gaming, promoting the gaming content, pushing it forward. And then I realized, oh, wait a second, no. His ideology doesn't line up with what a gamer cares about. It pushes forward propaganda and agendas just like the woke side does from a completely other side of the coin. It's no different at the end of the day. He continues, and yes, it wouldn't surprise me if EA is already paying fake anti-wokes to shill for a game. So now we're being paid by EA, guys. I can assure you.
Ich wusste gar nicht.
I am not. Okay, I
Ich
don't
bin
know how to
paid
tell
by
you this.
EA, okay, weil
But if I want to
Split
make a video
okay.
talking about a game that I don't like,
Sure.
or a game that I do like,
Klar.
and explain why,
Wusste ich
it
gar
doesn't
nicht.
mean I'm getting paid by somebody because I'm doing that. It's because I've done this YouTube channel for 8 years, and I have a passion for gaming. At the end of the day, though, numbers don't lie. Split Fiction is a massive success, and I honestly can't wait to jump back into it. A part of me almost feels bad for those who prioritize it as an agenda over playing a great game that, by all accounts, has little to no wokeness in it at all.
Hat's auch
Like,
nicht.
whatsoever, despite what the tourists might try to tell you. And we have Yorch going on saying, a deceiving trend for sure. Many anti-woke defend Split Fiction, saying the game is not woke, when it has every single element to define it as feminist slop. Strong non-binary. Again, he's welcome to his opinion, but my God, if there was ever a wrong opinion, in my humble opinion, it would be this one. The game is an absolute blast. I posted a video here with my initial impressions. If you guys want to check that out, it's on the
Ich finde das Game
website.
super.
I will link this in the description below. And no, again, I'm not being
Und ich
paid by
frage mich,
anybody to love this game.
was
It's just a really fun game that over 250,000 people have already been
das
playing
Problem.
concurrently, and 2 million copies of the game
Ich
have
verstehe
been
das
sold
Problem
in
nicht.
48 hours.
Nur
So
weil
I'm not alone. The game's a lot of fun, and I'm seeing little to no signs of any wokeness in it, especially coming directly from the studio itself. Shout out to Packer Girl for the heads up on all this situation, because I wasn't following Yorch Tourch after a while. I just got so nauseating with his takes. But I wanted to cover this because I feel like it's important to
Vor allem
showcase how some
Games.
people continue to push an agenda,
wenn ich schon
even
den
if
Tipp gehört
it's
kriege,
not something that makes any
wollen
sense
Sie
at
meine
all.
Fingernägel
I'm going to leave it
zusammen.
there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com. I will link this article in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm
Ja.
doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Ja, also wie gesagt, Yorch Tourch ist einfach eine Witzfigur in meinen Augen und nichts, was man wirklich ernst nehmen kann. Wie gesagt, Split Fiction sieht super aus, oder mal mit 2 Frauen sprechen, ist das Ding nicht woke. Also ich hab noch nie so einen behinderten Take gesehen von jemandem. Also, da kriege ich Kopfschmerzen. Auf jeden Fall, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und ja, lasst es euch auf die Zunge zergehen und ja, wie gesagt, Split Fiction ist ein super Game, vor allem im Multiplayer und der Boss also der CEO von Hazelight ist auch super Dude, super lustiger, witziger Dude vor allem, weil ich das gesehen habe bei den Game Awards, also der weiß, was er tut, vor allem, ich weiß nicht, kann ich ja in dem Sinn auch erzählt, weißt du, alle ziehen Jackett an, Hemd oder was auch immer, weißt du, ganz leger, weißt du, und er kommt im Hawaii-Hemd, weißt du, was, vor allem das ist richtig sympathisch, der Typ, der von den Hazelight ist. Also, wie gesagt, total Schwachsinn. Das Ding ist nicht woke, nur weil man 2 Frauen spielt. Yorch Tourch ist da oben auch nicht ganz dicht, aber das ist was anderes. Wie gesagt, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Bis dann und ciao.